Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today we are going to learn poem 2.3 The Inchcape Rock, written by Robert Southey. In our last lecture we had understand about the poet Robert Southey and about the overall story of this poem The Inchcape Rock. As we know that through the story that this poem is a ballad, and ballad have a major story in the poem, and at the end of the poem there is a very serious message through this ballad. Here the poet is given to the readers. So in this poem there are two major characters. First is Abbot of Aberbrothock and second is Sir Ralph the Rover. So Abbot of Aberbrothock is the heroic quality, and second is Sir Ralph the Rover is a pirate. So let us see the first stanza of the poem, page number 104. The first stanza of the poem is: No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. The ship was as still as she could be. Her sails from heaven received no motion. Her keel was steady in the ocean. So in this first stanza, firstly we will see the difficult words. First word is steer. First, in the first line, second word steer, S-T-I-R, steer. Here steer means movement, halchal. Second is sails. In the third line, second word S-A-I-L-S, sails, wind catching apparatus. Next word is keel. In the last line of the first stanza, second word is there, keel, K-E-E-L, keel. It means steel structure at the base of the ship. So in this first stanza the poet is describing the calmness of the weather on that particular day. There is a particular day, and in that day there is a calmness. The weather is also very calm. That the calmness of the sea, the calmness of wind, the calmness of waves, and this is the day there is no heavy waves or heavy wind. So there is calmness all around the ship. The ship is sailing very quietly, very smoothly. There is no any kind of disturbance for sailing the ship. It means a very calm and quiet day, having no problem at all. The sails of the ship from heaven, here sails, S-A-I-L-S, sails, it means wind catching apparatus by which the ship get the movement. The ship get the speed to move a particular direction by using the force of the wind. Whenever there is a movement in the wind, then that sail, that particular operator of the ship get the speed and move a particular direction. So that sails do the work for the ship. And heaven, here heaven means sky. So the sails of the ship from heaven here means sky. There is no force, no movement in the air. So obviously the ship was very smoothly sailing around. Keel, here K-E-E-L, keel, it means inner part of the ship, which is base of the ship, and that base of the ship is there to provide the stability to the ship inside the water. That keel is inside the water above the sea level, and that provide the stability to the base of the ship. So in this first stanza we can see the poet is describing how everything is very calm and nice on that particular day, and the ship is going around very smoothly. So now let us see the figure of speeches used in the first stanza of the poem. The first line, no stir in the air, no stir in the sea. Figure of speech alliteration is used here because sound s is repeated in the word steer and in the word see. Next is repetition. Why repetition is used here? Because no steer, this word is repeatedly twicely. So repetition, figure of speech is used here. Next line, the ship was as still as she could be. Here, simile figure of speech is used because the slight movement of the ship are compared with complete stillness. There is comparison between slight movement of the ship and stillness. So, this figure of speech is called simile. Next is alliteration because sound s has been repeated in the word ship and still. Next is personification is also used here because the ship has personified with the female she. Here the ship is in the non-living category and she is female, she is a living one. So here non-living things personified to the living one, that is that kind of the line that is called personification. Figure of speech is used in this particular line. Next is her sails from heaven received no motion. Here in this line, personification, as we know that the ship has been personified with the female her or she, here her. Non-living things gives the quality of living one, that is called the personification. So here in this particular line, ship is given or ship is personified with the female her. Next is inversion. The words in the line have been rearranged for poetic effect. It means that this line is not arranged in the correct form of the sentence. So for the beauty of the line of the poem, sometime poet used the unarranged or rearranged words or sentences, that is called figure of speech inversion. So the first stanza's figure of speeches is completed here. Now let us see the second stanza of the poem. Without either sign or sound of their shock, the wave flew over the Inchcape rock. So little they rose, so little they fell. They did not move the Inchcape bell. So in the second stanza of the poem, here poet is describing that the weather is still calm. Now a little movement can be seen in the ocean, in the sea, in the water level, smaller waves now coming up. In earlier, the first stanza shown that there is completely calm and still without any movement in the ocean, but in the second stanza poet says that there is little movement in the ocean. Slowly smaller waves are coming, there are rising and they are falling, but not enough to move the Inchcape bell, because the Inchcape bell used only whenever there is storm and used to be when there is heavy wind and heavy waves. So Inchcape bell used to ring because of force, but now here the weather is not very dangerous, it's still fine, it's nice, only smaller waves are there, little bit movement in the wind is there, but it is not enough to move the Inchcape bell. So in the second stanza of the poem, we can see that only smaller waves are there, but that smaller waves are not sufficient to move or to ring the Inchcape bell, because Inchcape bell need the large waves in the ocean or in the sea level. So now let us see the figure of speeches used in the second stanza of the poem. The first line of the second stanza of the poem, without either sign or sound of their shock. Alliteration figure of speech is used here because sound s is repeatedly in the word sound and in the word shock. The next line is, so little they rose, so little they fell. Here in this line, repetition figure of speech is used because so little, this word is repeated twicely. Next is antithesis. Opposite words are used, rose and fell. Whenever there is a writer use opposite words in their line of the poem, that is called antithesis. Next is now the third stanza of the poem. The abbot of Aberbrothock had placed that bell on the Inchcape rock. On a buoy in the storm is fluted and swung, and over the waves its warning rung. Here, firstly, we will see the difficult words, that is abbot. Abbot, it means head of abbey of monks. Abbey means a building where monks lives. Next is buoy, B-U-O-Y, buoy, floating object in the sea to mark dangerous places. So, in this third stanza, the poet is introducing us to the abbot of Aberbrothock and is narrating the story that he was the priest, the head of the priest. He was one who had installed the bell, the Inchcape rock, installed on a buoy in the storm. It used to float and swung, and over the waves it warning to run. It means in the third stanza of the poem, we can see that there is abbot, that means head of the monks, and here the writer introduces about the abbot of Aberbrothock and how the Aberbrothock placed the bell on the Inchcape rock for saving the life of the persons who travel through the ship. So now we will see the figure of speeches used in this third stanza of the poem. The third stanza shows that the figure of speech is, a buoy in the storm is floated and swung. Next is, on a buoy in the storm is floated and swung. Personification is used here because Inchcape bell has been given the person's quality of swinging and floating. Next is inversion. The words in the line have been rearranged for poetic effect. Next is, and the last line is, and over the waves its warning rung. Inversion. The words in the lines have been rearranged for the poetic effect. Next is alliteration. Because sound verb is repeated here. So, here we had completed the three stanzas of the poem with the explanation and with the explanation of the usage of the figure of speeches. Hope so you may understand all the things. Thank you for listening. Thank you.